And this is? They don't know my story. Or stories. How it all began. Have you ever lost someone? Or something that meant everything to you? Meant so much that when it was gone, you could feel the hole it left in you. It happened to me. The memory keeps clawing at you like an animal. Or a bird.
Once, upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore.
While I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping,
As if someone gently rapping at my chamber door.
'Tis some visitor,
I muttered.
tapping at my chamber door. This it is, and nothing more.
Ah, distinctly I remember, it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my book surcease of sorrow.
Sorrow, the lost Lenore.
The rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore.
Nameless, here forevermore.
And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before. So that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating,
'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. Only this and nothing more.
Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer.
Sir,
Said I,
or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore, but the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door that I scarce was sure I heard you.
darkness there, and nothing more.
deep into the darkness peering, long I stood there,
Wondering,
fearing,
doubting,
dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken,
and the stillness gave no token.
and the only word was spoken was the whispered word.
Lenore?
This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word. Lenore.
Merely this, and nothing more.
Back into my chamber turning,
All my soul within me burning.
soon I heard it tapping somewhat louder than before.
Surely,
Said I,
surely that is something on my window lattice. Let me see then what thereat is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more.
open here I flung the shutter, when with many a flirt and flutter,
In there stepped a stately raven of his saintly days of yore.
not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he.
But with mien of lord or lady perched above my chamber door.
Perched upon a bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door. Perched,
And sat,
and nothing more.
then this ebony bird, beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore.
Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou,
I said,
art sure no craven, ghastly grim and ancient raven wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore.
quoth the raven,
Nevermore.
much I marveled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being
Ever yet was blessed by seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon a sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such name as Nevermore. And the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if in that word his soul he did outpour. Nothing further than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered.
Other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before.
But the bird said,
Nevermore. Startled at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken.
Doubtless,
Said I,
what it utters is its only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster till its songs one burden bore. Till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore of nevermore.
but the raven still beguiling all my fancy into smiling. Straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then, upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy thinking, what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly,
Ghastly.
gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking.
Nevermore. This I sat engaged in guessing, though no syllable expressing to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining with my head at ease, reclining on the cushion's velvet lining that the lamplight gloated o'er.
But whose velvet violet lining with the lamplight gloating o'er?
She shall press. Ah, nevermore.
Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed by this unseen censer, swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor.
Wretch!
I cried,
By God hath led thee. By these angels he hath sent thee respite and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff this kind nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore.
quoth the raven.
Nevermore.
Prophet,
Said I,
thing of evil, prophet still if bird or devil. Whether tempter sent or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate yet all undaunted on this desert land, enchanted, on this home by horror haunted. Tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore.
quoth the raven, nevermore.
Prophet,
Said I,
thing of evil, prophet still if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore. Tell this soul with sorrow laden if, within the distant Eden, it shall clasp a sainted maiden whom the angels name Lenore.
quoth the raven.
Nevermore.
Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend!
I shrieked of starting.
Get me back into the tempest and the night Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door.
Quoth the raven.
Nevermore. But the raven, never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming.
And the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor.
And my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted.
Nevermore.
During a dull, dark, and soundless day in autumn, when the clouds hung oppressively low in the heavens, I had been passing alone through an especially dreary tract of land. And at length, as the evening shades drew to a close, I came upon the melancholy House of Usher. Now, I know not what it was, but my very first glimpse of the house filled my soul with this insufferable gloom and despair. The huge house, the barren landscape, the blank walls, the vacant eye-like windows, rank hedges, a few decaying white tree trunks. And as I looked down into the dark, still waters that surrounded the building, I began to feel an iciness, sickening of the heart. But why? As I approached, I began to feel an atmosphere around the house, a feeling reeking up from the decaying trees, the blank gray wall, the silent lake. A sickening and mystic odor. Well, the stones are old, discolored, but the building seems strong enough, except for a barely visible crack running down the front of the house, crisscrossing all the way down to the front of the house and exiting into the dark, still wet lake. What am I doing here? What indeed? Roderick? Roderick Usher? Are you here? Roderick? Roderick Usher? I received your letter. I've come as you requested. Roderick, are you here? Roderick? Usher, is that you?
My friend! Oh, you're here at last. At last, you have arrived. Oh, how well you look! Thank you. So much for coming. Oh.
Are you not well? You look well enough.
No, I do not.
Well, to be quite honest.
You hardly recognized me, did you? Your friend from childhood.
Well,
Childhood.
Roderick, it's been many years since our last meeting.
You were ever my only friend. You and my darling sister Madeline. You too were all I had.
How is Madeline?
Do I really look so changed?
Well, to be quite frank.
Yes, and that is why you're here, is it not? Did I not make myself clear in the letter?
Oh, yes, well.
I am ill, bodily and mentally ill, and there's a darkness in this house, and that is why I decided to see you as my best and only personal friend to cheer me. Do you remember the laughter we shared as children?
Yes, quite.
We shall laugh again. You shall yet cure my melancholy. You may yet.
Madeline? Was that your sister, Roderick?
Do I really appear so changed?
I thought I saw your sister.
I know the cause. I know the root of my transformation, and it shall not claim me.
What? I'm sorry, what are you saying, Usher?
I'm the last of my family. I have no children, my sister has no children, and we are our parents' only children.
Yes, I seem to remember that.
And we have always lived in this house.
Roderick, is Madeline...
But we always had our art. Our paintings and our music were our children and our charity. Oh, we were famous. The House of Usher meant something then.
Roderick!
I notice you haven't asked after Madeline.
What?
Do you not know nor care what torment my fair sister endures?
No. I mean, yes, I've been...
My last and only relation on earth. Her death will leave me the last of the ancient House of Ushers.
Is Madeline... What's happening? What's wrong with her? What's going on?
Her doctors are baffled. She's wasting away. Her muscles freeze up. She has no awareness of her surroundings, of me. She's fought valiantly for so long, but she's giving in, succumbing to the disease. If you see her at all tonight, it'll probably be the last time. At least alive.
What is happening, Usher? What's going on?
I must rest now. Tomorrow, we may begin to find my own course of journey. If I cannot save Madeline, perhaps I can at least save my own soul.
What am I doing here? Can you feel the iciness? The smell of decay, of death? Oh. But I can't leave now. I promised him I'd stay for several weeks. Possibly longer. Oh, it's just my imagination. Nerves! And what have I to fear? But it's as if you can touch the air, or it can touch you. Roderick, shall we read some poetry today? I seem to have found some rather cheerful verses.
I did compose one yesterday.
Really? Oh, do let me hear it. Perhaps your muse is returning to you. What is the subject of your verse?
A house. A beautiful palace owned by a king named Thought.
Oh, I like that. How does it proceed?
But evil things in robes of sorrow assailed the gentleman's estate, and round about his home the glory that blushed and bloomed is but a dim remembered story of the old time entombed.
Ah, well.
And travelers now within the valley through red-lit windows see vast forms that move fantastically to a discordant melody. Well, like a rapid ghastly river through a pale door, a hideous throng rush out forever and laugh, but smile no more.
And that was supposed to cheer you up, was it?
I used to love poetry, but now every sound fills me with horror. All of my senses are heightened, it seems, unnaturally, horribly heightened. Only the most boring food is tolerable. I can only wear clothes made out of certain textures, and the stink of all flowers maddens me, and my eyes are plagued by even a faint glimpse of sunlight.
Well, have you consulted a doctor?
I'm sure it's nothing, it'll pass. It's a family evil, one for which I despair to find a remedy.
Now, Roderick, I'm sure we'll find something.
I'm afraid, my friend. Very afraid.
Of what?
Of terror. I'm afraid of my own terror.
Now, Roderick, you're not making any sense. Perhaps you should rest.
The time will arrive sooner or later when I will abandon life and reason altogether in my struggle with the grim phantasm fear.
Days passed. We painted and read together. The closer I got to him, the better I got to know Usher. The more I realized how futile it is to try to cheer a mind which pours darkness upon everything in the universe in one unending radiation of gloom.
I finished my painting.
Oh, you did? Well, do let me see it. Perhaps it has a happier feel than... What is it?
What does it look like?
Well, it's got these low walls, smooth, white, obviously deep underground.
Obviously.
There are no doors, no way out whatsoever.
None.
It looks like a tomb.
I believe that it's the future.
How can I say this? I trust you won't be offended, but... Roderick, you are the most depressing man I've ever met.
Well, it's not me, my friend. It's the house.
The house?
Oh, the home of my forefathers, the dead trees, the air itself. It's alive. This home has molded the destiny of my family for centuries, and now it twists me into what you now see. see what I am.
How long did I say I was staying?
Madeline died earlier this evening.
What?
My sister is no more.
Oh, Roderick, I'm so sorry.
I need your help.
Well, certainly, what can I do?
Help me preserve her corpse for a fortnight.
What? Why?
Oh, don't worry, she'll receive a proper burial, but the family cemetery is very far away and there's a storm coming in.
True.
And the nature of her illness, I don't want her exposed to the air here in the house.
Well, I
and the
understand.
doctors are far too eager to come and perform their experiments to find out what was wrong.
Right, but-
And so I want to take her and place her deep inside one of the vaults in the main walls of the
I'm
building.
not sure
And we must act at once.
All right. What is this place, Usher?
In feudal times, it was used as the worst kind of dungeon, but more recently to store gunpowder. Huh! This tomb's directly beneath your room upstairs.
That's done wonders for my sleep, thank you.
We were twins. We could almost read each other's thoughts. No one could explain it. As children, we would make the most amazing music together.
It almost looks as if she's smiling.
Yes, the nature of her illness. The muscles froze that way. I think we should leave.
Several days passed since we buried her. Roderick's behavior continues to change. For the worse. Shall we play some music, Roderick?
Oh, my friend! You are here! Here you are!
Is something wrong?
Wrong? No! What could possibly be wrong? What did you say?
When?
Just now?
Nothing.
And you heard nothing.
No, did you?
No! I heard nothing. Nothing at all. There's nothing. What could possibly wrong? Goodbye.
Wait. Did you hear that? I thought I... No. It's my imagination. Usher's got me hearing things now, too. Sleep. We all just need sleep. Did you hear that? I thought... No, it's gone now. Who's there? In the shadows. Nothing. This house is affecting my brain. Okay, it's been 7 or 8 days since we buried Madeline in the dungeon. 8 or 7. I can't do this. I can't do this. I leave tomorrow. Yes. Okay, first thing tomorrow I leave. Oh, I feel better already. I'm sorry, Roderick. I just can't do this anymore. Oh, perhaps I shouldn't sleep tonight. Yes. You wouldn't want to oversleep. No. Usher, is that you?
Have you not seen it?
Well, seen what?
You have not seen it, but stay you shall.
Roderick!
Did you see it?
I saw the storm. I saw the stars and the moon were blotted out. Listen, Roderick,
The air! The House of Usher is here!
No, Roderick, I'm sure it's just some electrical phenomenon, not uncommon. Or perhaps some mist rising up from the lake. But keep the windows shut, Roderick, okay? Right? Usher, Here, why don't I read to you one of your favorites? We'll survive the night together. Yes? Okay, where were we? Yes, Lancelot. Lancelot was about to break the doors into the hermit's dwelling, yes? And Lancelot, feeling rain upon his shoulders and feeling the rising of the tempest, uplifted his mace outright and cracked and ripped and tore the door all asunder, and the house, and the sound of the breaking wood, rumbled throughout the forest. Let's just keep reading, right? But the good champion Lancelot, now entering within the door, was amazed to see not the hermit, but a dragon, scaly and huge, with a fiery tongue, guarding a shield of shining brass. And Lancelot uplifted his mace and struck upon the head of the dragon, which fell before him and died with a shriek so horrid and touching. Robert, did you hear that? What was that? Did you? What is going on? What's happening?
Not hear it? Yes. I hear it and have heard it. Long, many minutes, many hours, many days have I heard it, but I dare not. Miserable wretch that I am, I dare not speak. We put her living in the tomb. Did I not tell you my hearing was acute? I first heard her feeble movements deep inside the coffin. I heard them many days ago, but I dared not speak. And now tonight, Lancelot! The breaking of the hermit's door, the death cry of the dragon, and the clangor of the shield. Say, rather, the ripping of her coffin, and the grating of the iron hinges of her prison, and her struggle with the coppered archway of her vault. Where can I run? Will she not be here in moments? Is she not hurrying to punish me for burying her? Have I not heard her footsteps on the stairs? Do I not hear the heavy, horrible beating of her heart? Madman! I tell you that she now stands outside the door!
I ran into the storm and into the lightning. And I turned back and I saw blood-red moon shining down on the mansion, and the tiny crack running down the front of the house was opening up, growing wider and wider, and the red moon shining through the house, blinding, and the roar, and the building splintered, crashing down, and then the long, horrible shout like the voice of 1,000 waters. The House of Usher was no more.
Good morning, Edgar.
Good morning, sir.
How did you sleep? Have you seen my slippers?
Very well, sir. No, sir. But I doubt you'll find them in your pocket, sir.
I'm looking for my pipe, lad. My pipe.
Oh, perhaps it's in your parlor, sir.
Oh, no, I left them down here by the foot of the stairs yesterday evening. I clearly remember.
And here they are, sir.
My slippers. I don't need my slippers, lad. I'm looking for my pipe. My pipe, lad, my pipe.
It's impossible to say how first the idea entered my brain. But once conceived, it haunted me day and night. I had no reason for it. I loved the old man. He had never wronged me. He had never given me insult. For his gold, I had no desire.
Here it is in my pocket, as I clearly remember. What is it, Edgar? What are you staring at?
I think it was his eye. Yes, it was definitely his left eye. It resembled that of a vulture's. Pale, blue with a film over it. Every time it fell on me, my blood ran cold.
Where's my breakfast?
And so by degrees,
Edgar, did you hear me?
very gradually,
I'd like my breakfast now, if you please.
I made up my mind to take the life of the old man, and thus rid myself of that eye forever.
Edgar!
Will eggs be acceptable?
It would be splendid, but over easy and not runny.
No, sir.
Like your oozes out slimy little liquid dribbling.
Say no more, sir. Say no more. Your eggs are on their way.
And don't burn the toast.
No, sir.
You see my slippers?
Now this is the point. You call me mad. But madmen know nothing. They have no strategies. They're incapable of conceiving plans and stepping carefully. But not I. Your breakfast, sir. And your slippers. And your pipe. And the daily newspaper. And a cup of tea. Green, from China, as you like it. No sugar. And a candle should the morning light begin to dim.
Really, Edgar?
And a little fresh air for your lungs. Can't be too careful with the oxygen one needs to breathe.
I say, Edgar.
And should the shade of the rug offend your eyes, that is, I can easily...
Edgar!
Yes, sir.
Have you no other errands to attend to? Don't you have a life?
Ah. Yes, quite. A life. Yes, sir. Do you see my caution? My foresight, my sanity. I was never kinder to the old man than during the whole week while I planned to kill him. Ready to retire for the evening, sir.
Oh, yes, just about.
Well, the evening clock did strike 10 a moment ago.
I didn't turn go.
Good night, sir. See you in the morning, sir. Don't forget your slippers, sir. It usually took me an hour to get my whole head through the doorway. And I never woke him. Would a madman be so wise as this, so careful? Drat. Cannot do the deed unless I see the eye. It's the eye that vexes me. Not the old man, but his evil eye. I can't kill him now. Good morning, sir. How did you sleep? It is a beautiful dawn out there today, sir. Golden sunrise. Your slippers and your pipe. Found it in your pocket. Eggs are on their way. Not runny, over easy, beautiful eggs, perfect toast. No charge for us here, sir. Your nice cushioned chair, upon which you can rest. And the daily newspaper. Read up, check the obituaries and weather reports. It's a beautiful, gorgeous day out there today, sir. Cup of tea, China green. You like that, right? Beautiful China, no sugar, and a candle should the morning light begin to dim. Morning light begin to dim, and a little fresh air for your lungs. Can't be too careful with the oxygen one needs to breathe to stay alive. And there's the rug, not defending your eye. And you can't look at the time. 10 p.m. already. Time for bed, sir. Did you hear the clock chime? I did. Good night, sir. See you in the morning, sir. Don't forget your slippers, sir. This went on for a week. 7 straight days. But each night I came to kill him. I found I couldn't. For the eye, that cursed eye, was not open. And each following day, I was bold and kind and presented my best face. So you see, he would have been a profound old man indeed to suspect that every night, just at 12, I looked in upon him while he slept. Then arrived the 8th night. I'm more than usually cautious when opening the door. A watch's minute hand moves more quickly than mine does. Steady. Steady. Now, just open the lantern.
Who's there?
For a whole hour, I kept still and said nothing. Didn't move a muscle. But he won't lie back down. He just sits there, just as I do, listening to the ticking clock on the wall, and waiting. Ah, I know that sound. I know what the old man feels, and I pity him. He's been lying awake ever since my first slight noise, and his fears have been growing and growing. He's been trying to imagine them causeless, but he can't. He's been saying to himself, it was nothing but the wind in the chimney. It was only a mouse that has crossed the floor. Or it was merely a cricket that has made a single chirp. Oh yes, he's been trying to comfort himself with these excuses. But all in vain. All in vain. Because death, in approaching, has stalked with its dark shadow before it, and it has covered its victim. And now he is terrified. I'm not mad, but that's when I began to hear it. Can't you? The beating of the old man's heart. Stop it. Stop it, you hear me? Stop it, the neighbors. The neighbors. They'll hear your heartbeat. Your... Dead. Stone. Dead. No heartbeat. No pulsation. Stone. Dead. His eye will trouble me no more. And if you still think me mad, listen to this. How carefully I conceal the body. The night is waning. I have to work hastily, but in silence. First, I wrap up the corpse. Then, I take 3 planks from the floor of the chamber and drop him in between the slats. Then, I replace the board so cleverly, so cunningly, that no human eye, not even his, can detect anything wrong. There. Perfect. How can you call me mad? "4 a.m. Still dark as midnight. Perfect. The perfect crime. A knock at the door. What have I to fear?
Good evening, sir.
Good morning, rather.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We're officers with the police.
Inspectors, rather.
Inspectors with the police.
Ah, and how may I help you? Please, come in.
Thank you. Terribly sorry to disturb you at such an hour.
Begging your pardon.
Oh, it's quite all right, but is something the matter?
A little disturbance.
It's
Probably nothing.
Most likely nothing.
a disturbance, really.
A shriek.
A shriek heard by a neighbor.
A shriek.
Reported by a neighbor.
Suspected foul play.
You know how suspicions get aroused.
How neighbors get aroused.
Foul play.
Probably nothing.
Most likely nothing.
But information has been lodged at the police office.
We were called.
We have been deputed to search these premises.
With your permission.
Terribly sorry about the hour.
No, please, come in, welcome. I believe I can explain it. It's rather amusing, actually.
Amusing, sir?
Well, the shriek was myself. I made it. In a dream. A nightmare startled me awake. I must have cried out.
Are you the owner of the home, sir?
No, the owner, an older gentleman, has left us.
Left us?
For the countryside. On vacation in the country at present. I am here alone. Utterly alone. But please, feel free to examine the premises. Stay as long as you like. Look wherever you like. If I may be of help, please call on me.
Well, thank you.
Much obliged.
We'll just be a moment.
Search on, inspectors. Search well. I would have you completely satisfied. You may be especially interested in this room, the old gentleman's chambers. Notice all of his treasures. Secure, undisturbed. Nothing abnormal here.
Not that I can see.
No abnormalities here.
Here, please, have a seat. You must be so tired, awakened so early. Please rest yourselves.
We really can't.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I myself shall sit here. Lovely room, is it not?
Lovely.
Don't make him like this anymore.
So, no unusual occurrences lately?
Not a one.
Old man in the country.
Indeed. Indeed.
We don't like receiving these crank calls any more than you do, sir.
Probably less.
Much less.
But we have to respond.
That's our job.
Nature of the business.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, you look a little pale.
Really? No, I feel fine.
So, as I was saying, we have to respond.
You know how it is, sir.
Sir?
Yes.
Mind if I start filling out the paperwork here? Save some time back at the office?
Sir,
Yes.
everything all right, sir?
Yes, quite. Just a slight ringing in my ears, a small headache.
Must be the early hour.
It is early, isn't it?
Well, speaking of early, my uncle used to rise well before dawn on his farm. Cows, chickens, a usual farm, of course. Oh my, did he rise early, let me tell you. Yes, but my aunt would be up making biscuits, eggs, or some such. And of course, milk fresh from the cow. This was 20 years ago, of course. Yes, and my aunt was this dear, dear woman with this eye. This absurd eye that used to indeed startle us all upon occasion. But she was surely a good, good woman, that eye. But my uncle could never find the chickens, as I said, before sunrise on account of the darkness. Unless it happened to be a full moon that night, which wasn't very often, it seems, and of course it wouldn't be. Full moon's only coming once a month, and I told him this. Uncle, said I, you really can't depend on nature's own light to help you find those infernal chickens. Chickens! Why did he have to raise chickens? I asked my aunt. Chickens, she said. Chickens have eyes too. Not eyes like a vulture, not an evil eye. You have to...
My brother's got a weird eye.
Oh, he's a handsome man.
I am sure he is, as was my aunt. Very handsome man, but my, is it hot in here? Unseasonably warm, wouldn't you say, officers? And those imbeciles who say weather plays no part on the human psyche.
I get mad easier when it's hot.
Indeed! Let me just fan you off! All of us! These infernal floorboards are holding the heat. Let me just... Is it dawn yet? Oh, midnight! That is my favorite hour of the day. Is it not yours as well, officers?
I've always fancied sunset, I guess.
I'm more of a 2 p.m. man myself.
Oh, I love the night! It's so silent! So peaceful!
Silent?
Peaceful?
Beat! You must hear it!
Hear what, sir?
Besides you, sir.
Don't you hear it? Don't mock me. But you suspect. You know. You mock my horror. My agony.
Sir!
Villains! Dissemble no more. I admit the deed. Tear up the planks here. Here. You'll find the source. It is the beating of the old man's hideous heart. But I'm not mad. Am I? Am I? I'm not mad! I'm not mad!
And that's how I ended up here, trapped by my grief and madness.
Maybe you've been there too, imprisoned by your own story.
We find the accused guilty.
Guilty!
The sentence is death.
Death!
Where am I?
I'm unbound.
Damp and hard.
Where am I?
What if I'm already dead?
But I'm not dead. So, where am I? In a dungeon, waiting for my own murder? How long do I have to wait? Days? Months? No, the guilty die quickly. So, where am I? The dungeons. I thought they were fables, just ghost stories, but now... At least I'm not buried alive in some coffin. I've heard 1,000 rumors about what they do to you. I know I'm going to die, but how? And when? That's the question. All right, a wall. Smooth stone, slimy, and cold. But how large? I've got to find out how big this dungeon is. Yes, here we are. This shouldn't take too long. A pit. Is this how I'm supposed to die? A door in the ceiling. Were you watching to see if I'd fall?
Are you still watching? Well, I'll starve myself before I throw myself into your pit.
And even if I did throw myself in, I've heard that you don't die suddenly. What lies at the bottom?
What lies at the bottom? No! No!
The bread!
What have you done to the bread?
Light. It's small. The cell is smaller than I thought. And the walls aren't made of stone, but some sort of metal. Iron? In huge plates. But the floor is stone. I was right about one thing. And there in the center, the pit. And a bowl of meat. Oh, salt! Too salty! And of course there's no water, of course! The ceiling. 30 or 40 feet up, made of iron as well. And above me, a painting of Father Time in a cloak holding a pendulum, like the ones in the antique clocks. Huh. Wait, is the painting moving? Yes, the pendulum held by time is swinging. Back and forth. Back and forth. Back. Oh, why should it Rats! Enormous rats! Climbing out of the pit! 3, 4, 5, whole troops of them! So fast! They smell the meat! They smell me! No! So this is how I'm going to die! Eaten alive by rats! How long has it been? Half an hour? An hour? But the pendulum seems to be sweeping much wider and faster. Oh no! And it's descending! There's my death! The pendulum's edge is a thin crescent blade of steel, about a foot long from tip to tip like a giant razor blade, swinging closer and closer to me, weighted down with brass, swinging slowly, so slowly, but it's coming. Coming. Ingenious. Utterly ingenious. So I skipped the pit, only to be destroyed by the pendulum? Please, let it fall faster. And it now, but do it quickly. I can't take this. Please. Wait. Wait. The pendulum is going to cut across my chest, my heart, but it's going to cut through my robes before it gets to me. There's a way out of here. If I can just think clearly. Down. Steadily down it comes. So close to my chest. Down. If I can break the rope on my left arm, I can seize the pendulum and stop it. Down. Still. Down. 10, 12 passes and it will be on me. On my clothes, on the rope, tying me. Wait, that's it. The rope tying me is one long piece, not separate pieces, which means the first stroke of razor across any part of the rope will slice it so I can unwind it with my left hand. Yes, that's it. But by then, the steel will be so close. The slightest struggle, and I'm ripped open. No, they've already thought of that. I'm tied in all directions except across the chest, of course. And the floor is swarming with rats, wild, ravenous, just waiting for me to lie still to become their meal. Wait, that's it, the meat. If I smear the meat on the rope, this may work. Please let this work. The rope, they've eaten through the rope. But the pendulum, my clothes, my skin. Free. I'm free. Free. So you could stop it at any time and pull it back? Evil. So you can still see me, watching my every move. Well, see this? I'm free. Wait, something has changed in the room. What is it? Nothing. I can see nothing. But the room, something has changed. Hot metal. That glow. They're heating the metal walls. The smell. So this is how you kill me? It's so hot. I'll be burned alive unless... The pit. I can almost see what lays in the pit. But it's not. It's impossible. How can they? Anything but that. The heat. I can't breathe. I can't. The walls are closing in. White hot iron closing in. Please. Any death bubble lies at the bottom of the pit. No!
I've got one in here. He's still alive. We've rescued the city. You're free.